Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into what's probably one of the most widely used, yet honestly profoundly misunderstood concepts out there: karma. Looking through the source material, it actually takes us on a pretty wild journey. We're going to start by untangling our everyday assumptions. Then we'll look at how it functions in our daily habits. And eventually, we're going to uncover a cosmic truth that might just completely challenge how you view your entire existence. Let's get into it. So let me ask you directly. Have you ever had something go completely wrong in your life and you instantly thought, well, that's just my karma? Or maybe you felt, totally doomed by your past actions. Like there's some giant accountant up in the sky tallying up your good deeds and punishing you for the bad ones? We really tend to view karma with this incredibly fatalistic, almost punishing attitude. We use it to explain away our misery or even justify revenge. But what if I told you the actual reality of karma is completely different from that limited framework? Section 1. Demystifying the word karma. Okay, let's dive into this by wiping the slate totally clean. Just forget the Western baggage, forget the pop culture definitions for a second. At its absolute core, the word karma simply means action. But wait, it's not just the physical things you do. According to the source material, karma actually encompasses action in 3 distinct phases: action in its seed form, action that's currently in function, and the impression that action leaves behind in your mind. Because really, it's all energy. Your thoughts, energy. Your emotions, energy. Your physical body, also energy. So from this perspective, there's no separate, emotional karma or thinking karma. Literally everything is energy, and therefore, surprisingly, everything is karma. Now, right away, you might be panicking a little, thinking, wait a minute, if thoughts are karma and I have a negative thought, am I doomed? Well, the answer is no. Every single day, millions of thoughts cross your mind. Simply having a negative thought doesn't automatically create this massive ripple of karma. The vital distinction here, the real key, is identification. If a thought comes and goes, you're perfectly clear. But the very moment you grab onto that thought, the moment you say to yourself, this is my negative thought, I am an angry person, I own this. Yep, that is when it actually forms your karma. Section 2. The 3 types of karma. Let's move on and see how this builds. So our actions are actually divided into 3 distinct categories: prarabdha, sanchita, and agami. Let's make this incredibly practical. Think of prarabdha karma kind of like your physical height. You've already acquired it, it's there, and it's pretty much fixed. Sanchita karma and agami karma, on the other hand, are a lot more like your weight. Sanchita is the gathered karma you've accumulated over time, and agami is the karma that's going to yield fruit in the future. And just like your weight, you actually have a choice here. You can absolutely choose to change it, to gain or lose. What this means is sanchita and agami karmas can actually be nullified, completely erased. The perfect analogy for this is roasting a seed. If you roast a seed, it literally cannot sprout anymore. Let's say you have a deep ingrained habit of drinking coffee every morning. That gathered habit, that's sanchita karma. Now one day, you decide to quit cold turkey. But because of your past actions, you get this massive headache pulling you right back to the coffee maker. That pull, that craving is agami karma. But here's the magic. If you stand firm and simply say no, you effectively roast those seeds. By not acting on the impression, you just confidently nullify that karma. Boom, gone. But wait, what about prarabdha karma? These are the karmas that have already started yielding results. They've already manifested in your life. Think of a disease that has already taken root in your body. You can't prevent it because, well, it's already here. It's kind of like making halwa, the traditional Indian sweet. Once that semolina is completely cooked, there's absolutely no way to reverse the cooking process. It is done. But if it needs more sugar, you can add sugar. If it needs ghee, you add ghee. You can always apply a remedy, even though you can't uncook the dish. And this is huge because it shows us that while we do have to experience prarabdha karma, life is absolutely not fatalistic. We always have the agency to remedy our circumstances. Section 3, the mirror and the screen. And this brilliantly illustrates our next point. If we want to stop accumulating these seeds of karma entirely, we've got to look inward. We have to examine the actual psychology of our attachments and how our intellect interacts with our actions. Imagine a photographic screen. When light hits it, it catches the image and holds onto that impression forever, right? Well, that's exactly what our intellect usually does with events. But an enlightened intellect, that is more like a pure mirror. A mirror reflects images perfectly while they're right in front of it, but the exact moment those images move away, the mirror remains completely empty and clean. It holds on to absolutely nothing. To show just how powerful this lack of attachment really is, the source material highlights this incredibly extreme, almost shocking example from the Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna actually states that if someone's intellect is truly not sticking to any action, meaning there is absolutely zero sense of doership or lingering impression, even if they were to destroy the entire world, they would never acquire any karma from it. No way, right? Now, practically speaking, obviously, causing harm usually means you have some severe rage or hatred going on, which means you definitely are attached and you for sure will face that karma. But the underlying philosophical point here is absolutely crucial. It's your internal attachment and that feeling of doership, not just the physical motion itself, that actually binds you to the karmic cycle.
Section 4. Free will, effort, and grace.
So with all these past impressions piling up, you might be wondering, where do free will and my own personal efforts actually fit into all of this? Well, I really want you to take away this vital concept. Karma is not a death sentence. It's just not. The source makes it beautifully clear that karma is simply like rain. The rain falling down, that's the karma. But you aren't forced to just stand there and get wet. Your sankalpa, your intention, your willpower, and practices like meditation, they act as an umbrella. You can pop open your umbrella or, run to a shed. You can actively counter your karma with your very own effort. But there's another force at play here too, and it sits entirely outside the normal realm of action and consequence. That is grace, or anugraha. Now, grace isn't just some magical tool that simply turns your bad karma into good karma. Not at all. It's an unconditional blessing that helps you rise completely above the entire karma system itself. It's pure freedom. And the craziest part, it operates completely independently of whether you quote-unquote deserve it based on your past actions. The truth is, as humans, we just love to put everything into a tidy, neat little linear box. We want everything to be perfectly logical, right? Like if I do X, I'll automatically get Y. But existence is actually wonderfully illogical. It completely transcends our limited human logic. In Vedic philosophy, Ishwara, or God, has 5 distinct qualities: creation, maintenance, dissolution, hiding, and finally, grace. If you only ever look at creation and maintenance, yeah, you're going to be stuck in the mechanics of karma. But grace proves that there are these phenomenal, totally unexplainable blessings that can just drop right into your lap, transcending the rules entirely. Section 5. The ultimate illusion of existence. Okay, so we've seen how karma works, we know how to remedy it, and we understand how grace transcends it. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is that the source material completely pulls the rug out from under everything we've just built up. I'm serious. After meticulously defining exactly how karma functions, we have to peel back the very final layer of this onion and ask the ultimate question from the absolute highest state of consciousness. Does karma actually exist at all? Stunningly, both ancient Vedic philosophy and the latest Nobel Prize-winning discoveries in modern physics arrive at the exact same mind-bending conclusion. The world as we perceive it, with all our separate, distinct forms, does not actually exist. From the highest point of view, there are literally no individual entities. What appears to be an individual person generating karma is really just a temporary wave manifesting on the surface of a vast, infinite ocean. That wave isn't separate from the ocean at all. What truly exists is only the ocean. Let's just walk through the staggering logic of this for a second. If nothing truly exists individually, well, then nothing is ever actually created. And if nothing is created, nothing needs to be maintained and nothing is dissolved. As the source material beautifully puts it, the creator gods, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, are suddenly out of a job. And if there is no individual doer, then karma itself just vanishes entirely into pure consciousness. It's an illusion that only applies to the wave, not to the ocean itself. So I want to leave you with this deeply provocative thought. We spend our entire lives obsessing over our personal actions, our guilt, our rewards, our punishments. But if the world is essentially a hologram and karma only belongs to that temporary wave, not the infinite ocean, who are you really? Are you the attached screen desperately holding on to the image, or are you the pure, empty mirror? I really hope exploring this explainer has challenged your perspective today and sparked a desire to look a little closer at that infinite ocean within yourself. Thanks so much for exploring this with me.